Well, hey there everyone. I'm Kaye here on my homestead in Tennessee. Welcome back to my channel. I came out here at 4 o'clock thinking, okay, sun's far enough down. I am going to make a video and I'm going to talk about my basil, which is amazing, and talk about my raised beds and to kind of judge whether it was worth all the trouble and expense of taking all the dirt out, lining them with weed cloth fabric, and then growing the season. So you can be the judge, but it's pretty obvious. And anyway, it was way too hot, and I thought, oh my goodness, you know, we had all that rain, and I looked around and my plants were like this. And so my basil was like this. I said, oh, that's attractive. That's not going to be attractive for the video. So they're over there in the sun, and I've just given them a good watering. Some of these plants, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. This doesn't seem like everybody. Okay, basil, where are you? Show up. But I also have tulsi in my raised bed, which is part of this whole other conversation about the raised bed. And so it's too hot to go over there right now, but I want to show you the basil. We'll talk about that a little bit, and I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do with the flowers. Remember, all these years we've been cutting off the flowers and throwing them away, so get those beautiful leaves, to get the plant to keep making beautiful leaves. Well, you can use those flowers. You don't have to put them in your compost or toss them on the ground. And so we're going to collect some flowers, and we can make tea, we can make an infusion, we can do a lot of things, and we're going to. So let's get started. These 4 are all from last season. I grew them out in the raised bed. At the end of the season, I dug them up. They lived through the winter. I used the same soil, although I pared down the root ball, put some fresh dirt around it. And now I'm hearing if you really want to take something inside over the winter that's been outside, that you need to rinse off the root ball and put in fresh potting soil. These are all new plants that came up. I had some dill planted in here, and I had all of these sprouts come up, and I thought I was going to have 100 plants, but it looks like I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 intact plants, and since these have never bloomed, I'm going to save these for the leaves for drying for tea, and for herbs, fresh dried herbs. This needs some trimming back for sure. There's a lot of dead stuff on here, and I want to take off some of the flowers. But let's go check out the tulsi. We're just going to sit down for a minute because that sun, we've got about 15 minutes, and then it'll still be light and it won't be quite so hot. It's 88, well, it was 88 today, this high of 88 today and 88 tomorrow, but then Monday night it's going to be 49, and then 47, 47, 47. So I was going to say I have a great video on tulsi, and I'll put the link right up there. That's one that I did with Daryl at Bamboo Oasis, and he went through all of the benefits of tulsi, and so you might want to check that out. First of all, we're going to try to find my tulsi. This is what happens when you have volunteer tomatoes in a raised bed. And when there was 1 or 2 vines there, I thought, this is no big deal. I'll just put a stake here and we'll just have some nice tomatoes going up this vine. And the whole thing is like a bush. And I'm going, well, how did that happen? I didn't train it to look like a bush, but it did. And it's something to do with the afternoon sun. It just loves it. So many volunteer tomatoes, it's crazy. And you know, they don't really produce that much, especially the cherry tomatoes, the little ones. Oh, by the way, the cranberry hibiscus, you know, I did those. If you saw that recent video, I did those. If you didn't, please watch it. The ones that just had a little bit of roots and I went ahead and planted them, they didn't take. So there's only one that looks good. 1 out of 5. I'm going to dry this or freeze it. Still got a few, so we'll see if they grow a little bit more. And now we're just going to get the flowers. Okay, let's see what this is here. You know, I almost think this is stevia, but I didn't plant that there, so let's see what... That is not sweet, so that's got to be Tulsi. Let's confirm that. Holy basil, a species of Ocimum, Thai holy basil, hot basil, Tulsi, Tulasi, Indian holy basil. Yeah, there we go. And you know, this is a whole plant on its own, which I didn't plant there. There's 2 of them here. So what I should do, since it's a perfect size to dig up, I will wait till tomorrow and dig this up. And we will, oh my goodness, I found some actual good tomatoes. Look, I'm going to grab that. Those look like one of the many things I used to grow, and they're perfect. You won't see anything like that for the rest of this season, that's for sure. Gorgeous. I wanted to also show you the basil leaf. It's something I didn't know anything about until this year, and I grew a bunch of it. It's so indestructible. Well, it looks like I've missed the blooms off of the bloom stalk. All of these were full of flowers, but the bees absolutely love these, and these are huge leaves that you can, you know, when you water them earlier in the season, they look beautiful. You can make little wraps. Wrap a little chicken salad or something in there and just eat it. Fantastic. Oh, I see. Ooh, take a look over here. Oh my goodness. Wow. You know, I can't remember exactly. I grew so many of these Baker Creek tomatoes, and one of them was smaller. You know, I'm going to have to look this up. But I definitely got the seeds originally from the National Heirloom Expo. It doesn't get real big. This is typical size. Oops. But all these need to go inside, that's for sure. Oh my goodness, it's just turned into a tomato. It's draping over the backside too. There's literally 1,000 of these little cherry tomatoes. It would take me probably 2 hours to pick them all. So I'm going to get them in the morning when they're cooler and hopefully sweeter. I've got blue spice basil in there that's volunteer. It actually doesn't, it's not, the leaves are kind of not smooth and a little bitter, so I don't usually eat that. But it grows in the garden very well. Okay, you see that little tunnel there? Back there I had a big Tulsi plant. And now we've decided our plans are changed. We're going to save this plant. But I need to get back there to see if it still exists. Yes, I see Tulsi on the side over here. Yeah, the plant is there. It's just absolutely buried. And you know what? I was going to climb in there. There's no chance. Kind of hard to tell here. This is a tomato. This is Tulsi. This is Tulsi, and the seeds have dried up, so we could actually save those seeds. In fact, we got a lot of seeds here from the Tulsi. Lots of seeds. And you can actually, if I lift this up, you can get a better view of what's this poor Tulsi plant that has just been overrun by the tomatoes. It's all in here. Boy, did I ever plant this in the wrong spot. That was time. No water. No sunlight. Yeah. I wonder, oh gosh. Even that dead plant smells divine. I wonder if I stuck that in some water, if it would come back. It's worth a try. There's two of them. There's the other one. We might as well, right? Let's do it. Oh my goodness. I see Tulsi coming out in a lot of directions, and there was stevia under here. Let's see if we can find that. Can you imagine the tomatoes just absolutely took over? Somewhere under here was stevia. Let's see. It might have killed it, I don't know. Okay, so just to pick up where we left off about the raised beds, I used two different kinds of weed cloth. This non-woven, it's like a spun, a fiber spun, it's not a woven. The woven was a big mistake because that just ravels on the ends. You cannot keep it from raveling. The spun stuff is better, but guess what? And Danny at Deep South Homestead told me, you cannot get rid of nutgrass. He was right. Just about a month ago, I had Gina here, my uber late bloomer fan, and she cleared this whole bed. So this was just absolutely full of nutgrass, and when Gina was here, well, here she is walking away from the job. Take a look.
What are we doing?
What are you doing?
I'm taking this over there to the farm.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So she cleared out this entire thing. She said, you got a potato or two growing back. I go, fine, you know, no worries, no worries. But there's nutgrass everywhere. I don't see too many other weeds. And that may be partly to do with the fact that it's not spring. All of your weeds, I can't even think of all the ones that come up in here, but these just get absolutely loaded. And so the lady's thumb, that's over there, and a lot of other stuff comes up. Some of which are edible and some of which are beneficial, you know, to have. If you're trying to grow your crops and the whole thing gets full of weeds, well, that, you know, takes water and nutrition from the soil. Somebody told me that they ate nutgrass. Well, you have to really dig hard to get down underneath. There's too many to even fool with it. So, did I make a mistake doing that? The cost analysis, yes, it was a mistake. I spent the money for labor was the biggest thing, and then the weed cloth, because all the dirt had to come out, the weed cloth had to be put in, and then the dirt had to go back in. So That was costly. And so you just never know what's going to work and what's not going to work. But if there's a given in all of this, is you can't get rid of nutgrass. And that's that. Danny said it and he should know, and now I know. So I really appreciate you being here. I hope you learned something. I kind of covered a lot of ground with the basil and the raised bed going wild with the massive tomatoes. And I've been wanting to show you all this stuff, but I haven't figured out really a form. And so you just got to see it all today. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you learned something. So thanks so much for watching. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you in the next video. God bless.